Canada! Thank you for joining me tonight. It's Wednesday, and that means we are halfway through the work week, and we're almost at the weekend. We are this close. We're so close. Now, not just any weekend, it's Thanksgiving weekend. It's right around the corner. It's a long one. But before we start thinking about food comas, let's get to some news, because today's a day that needs to be discussed. Now, what I did, as per the usual, I went to Narcity's front page, and I looked at the stories, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to carve out some of the best bits just for you. These are the stories that I think that you should hear about. Some of them are scary, some of them are kind of just weird, and some of them are actually kind of interesting. And you need to know about what I'm about to tell you. Now, first up, Canadian police are playing with a new toy that they say is going to end speeding in Canada forever. No more speeding. They think we go too fast. I want to know what you think about this. We're going to talk about this in a second, because it's going to affect your life if you drive. Then, how does somebody rob a bank with Toonies? I know, and I'm going to tell you how. And it's interesting, and you won't be able to do it because he already did it and he got away with it. But I'll tell you all about that in just a little bit. And a sea creature has been spotted in the waters of Lake Ontario. I'm going to tell you what it is and why people are freaking out about it a little. Not even a little. They're freaking out about it, and you should too. It's terrifying. It's scary shit. But first up, if you're a Canadian in Canada, eating chicken, stop what you're doing right now. I want you to take that drumstick, that chicken wing, and I want you to spit it out, because things are about to get very heavy. The Public Health Agency of Canada is issuing a full recall on chicken. Ugh. If you enjoy poultry, maybe don't so much. 433 cases of salmonella poisoning have been recorded just this year alone. This goes all the way back to July, where a no-name brand of... Oh my god! Oh my goodness. A no-name brand of chicken nuggets, just the basic chicken nuggets, got about 47 people sick and hospitalized 11 people. That means they got so sick, they had to go to the hospital, maybe have their stomach pumped. It wasn't good. Now, the latest salmonella poisonings are linked to frozen chicken sold at Loblaws. Now, these are like those thin, I don't have a picture of it, it's those thin chicken fingers that you would see. Now, they're not real chicken fingers, obviously, because chickens don't have fingers. They're just like the mulch that they just kind of compress and they put some batter on it. It's getting people sick. Now, 4 cases have broken out so far. There's Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec. And if you think that you're safe because you're outside of those areas, every province has been affected by the salmonella poisoning outbreak except for the Northwest Territories. So like a zombie movie, if you want to get away from it, you got to go up north, you got to get to the cold, and maybe it won't follow you there. But maybe oh my god, chickens. Now, every province, as I said, has been affected. Of the 433 cases of salmonella poisoning, 86 people so far have been hospitalized. 3 people have died. People are actually dying from this. Now, I know what salmonella is, and as a full-grown adult, you as well totally, I'm sure, know what salmonella is. But just for the sake of conversation, I looked up the symptoms and what salmonella poisoning does. Now, first of all, it can affect you as early as quickly as 8 hours, after you're consuming the the infected meat. It starts with chills, fever, stomach cramps, and not like regular stomach cramps, like you just ate a beef burrito, like really bad stomach cramps, and nausea. So it mimics a cold, but it's a lot harsher and it hits a lot quicker. Symptoms can last up to a week, and it can actually be deadly to young children or seniors. So take it a little bit seriously. Maybe avoid chicken. Maybe go on a chicken diet. Maybe just stay away from it. You know, poultry is it's not the you know. And the reason I'm bringing this up as well is because hockey season starts tonight. This is a big one in Canada for a lot of Canadians. You're gonna have friends over, and you're gonna maybe grab a box of frozen chicken nuggets, toss it into the oven, and next thing you know, you and all your buddies have salmonella poisoning. So maybe avoid that. Maybe go for something else. Maybe go for nachos. Or if you're looking for meat, Thanksgiving's coming up. You know how many turkeys are going to be in Loblaws? Grab a turkey, get a little fancy, treat yourself. Because it's hockey season. Come on. You're better than that. I love you. Moving on to the next story. At the speed of light, we're moving through these stories. Now, Canadians, we're a calm people. We know how to relax. We know how to have a good time. I'm drinking tea right now. I'm on cloud 9. I'm good. But sometimes we like to go fast. And it's not our fault. We think it's somebody else. It's not our fault. We're not to blame. Now, you have big open spaces with long stretches of beautiful road, depending on where you live. Quebec, not so much. And we sometimes get a need for speed. And a lot of Canadians, to the dismay of many police, that there are very few of in such a big country, some of them like to believe that they're F1 legend Gilles Villeneuve. It's part of our DNA a little bit to explore. We're explorers. Let's go with that. Now, police say it's up to technology to save the day and to reduce the amount of lives that are taken by speeding. Now, the way they're going to do this is they're saying average speed cameras are the way of the future. Now, I'm going to explain to you what average speed cameras are. First and foremost, they work just like red light cameras. So when you're driving past a red light camera, let's say you're speeding or they want to catch somebody who's driving through, it just takes a quick picture. So it could either be a blurry face or a pixelated face or maybe a license plate. What these do is they work the exact same way, only you have two cameras separated by a few kilometers. And the way this works is that the first camera notes your presence as you pass through it. The second camera does the same. And what the device will do, it'll combine this information and it'll take note of how long it took you to go from point A to point B. So you can't fool it. You can't trick this thing. And so once it does that, basically, it doesn't matter how fast you're going when you pass the first camera or how fast you're going when you pass the second camera, it averages out the speed, hence the average speed camera. And if you and basically just sends you the ticket in the mail. So it's totally automated. It's supposed to help cops a little bit with dealing with stuff like this. Now they let you know, but if you're going fast, you're going fast. And it's going to be hard to readjust because you can slow your car down, you can hit the brakes, but you're still going to be moving way too fast to say, oh, I was going 20 when you were going like 80, you know? Now, I looked at some of the results that something like this has had because they've been doing this in Scotland for a while now. And Scotland has this highway, A77, which up until they implemented this system was the deadliest highway in Scotland. Now, between 1996 and 2005, it's about 10 years, there were 250 accidents, 30 people died. 30 people were killed. And after they put the cameras, it was down by 74%. Huge change. So a lot of people's lives were saved. Now, the government is still deciding what they're going to do with this. They're not sure. But the numbers speak for themselves. And a lot of people are sort of on the fence with this, which is very interesting to see. It almost seems like the obvious choice to say, hey, well, this is going to save a lot of people's lives. Let's do it. But people like to speed. People like to speed. So I'm going to ask you, Canada, what do you think? Do you think these cameras are a good idea? Do you think that they're going to regulate people's speed enough that it might actually save lives? Or is this a dumb idea? And is technology not going to do it right? They're going to be throwing tickets left, right, and center, even though you slowed down, even though there might have been some thing that made you speed up a little bit or whatever, you were dodging out of the road. I don't know. Do you think it's a good idea or a bad idea to have average speed cameras in Canada? Let me know in the comments, and I'll get back to you. Now, here's a super interesting story. And this is one that I wish I heard about years ago, before this man attempted it. And it's something that could only happen in Canada. And the reason I say that, well, I'll tell you, I don't want to spoil it. This is good storytelling. Now, the They're looking for a 43-year-old man named Robert Talbot. Can we get a picture of the man here? There you go. Now, he's originally from Nova Scotia, and he made his way down to Vancouver, over to Vancouver, where he managed to steal $30,000. Now, that's not a lot of money, but let me tell you how he did it, okay? 2 words. Toonie fraud. Oh, we got them all up there. Toonie fraud. What is Toonie fraud? Let me explain it to you. He hits up 17 different banks, and what he does is he fills a box with these rolls. You know the rolls that you put your coins in? So he lines them up, and he puts the disc-shaped plates that you have on nuts and bolts. So you know when you have a nut, you have a bolt, you have that round thing that goes in between, sandwiched in between them. That's what he put. Now, he rolled them up. They're just about the same size as a Toonie. He fills the whole thing up, and then he puts a Toonie at the top. And he puts them in sideways into this box, and he goes to the bank teller, and he goes, there's about $30,000 in here. You know, over the course of the 17 banks. $30,000. And he does it, and he gets away with it. He was trading them in for big bills. They don't even look at the coins. And now he's wanted for stealing $30,000. Now, no one's really saying this, but can I just put it out there? What were the bank tellers doing? Is this just, is this common practice to not check? I get it, there's a lot of coins and stuff, but wouldn't the weight be different? Wouldn't it be weird? Can't you just open it up and check one of them at random? I'm not saying that that what he did isn't right or isn't wrong. What he did is wrong, absolutely. But I also feel like the bank should have taken extra steps to assure that something like this doesn't happen. 17 different banks, and he got away with all of it. So maybe it's a problem with the banking system. I don't know, Canada. Step it up. And if you were going to try that, like I said, they're looking for this guy. So if you do it, they're probably just going to think that you're him, unless you don't look like him. But then they're going to think that you're a copycat. So just don't steal. All right? We're better than that, Canada. We're better than that. Lake Ontario. Scary creature. Now, as far as swimming goes in Canada, we don't have that many options, right? We take what we can get. If it's called a beach, it probably doesn't look like a beach, unless you're in Vancouver. But most of the time, you take what you can get. Now, Lake Ontario, not people's first choice for swimming. And of all the Great Lakes, it's actually, of all the Great Lakes, it's actually the most polluted. But it's still safe to swim in. Or is it? It is. But there's something in there that you need to know about. Now, can we pull up this video that was posted to Instagram? Just so oh my God! No! Now, your first impression is probably, that's a demon, right? Okay, breathe. Your second impression is, burn it with fire! Guys, you need to calm down, all right? We're going to deal with this. Can we get rid of this real quick? It's freaking me out. Thank you. At least it's smaller now. What is this thing? This demonic-looking critter is called a sea lamprey. And it looks like an eel, right? Because it's long and thin like an eel. It's actually a fish. And that makes it even more dangerous than if it was an eel. And I'll tell you why. It uses its suction mouth. You see that big old hole that it has there? It latches onto its prey with its mouth. It sucks in. It dives its teeth into the skin. And then it sucks out the blood. Okay? It's a vampire. A lot of people are calling it a demigorgon. You know, the one from Stranger Things? Why does this keep happening, guys? And so I looked into it a little bit just to see, is this something that people should be worried about? Does it just look scary? Because we know nature can kind of be scary and not actually affect people at all. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, this is an invasive species. Now, what that means and the reason that it's an invasive species is that it's highly reproductive. These things bang like crazy, okay? They lack predators in the lake, in Lake Ontario. There's not enough predators for them to die out. So their population is exploding. There's nothing really eating them, and they're decimating the fish population. Now that means two things. One, the fish are going to go out of commission real quick. We're going to run out of fish in that pond. And two, and this is the good news, they don't really attack humans unless they're starving. Now, if they eat all the fish, what's going to happen? You're going to have vampire eelfish attacking people. Do with that information what you will. I don't know. Maybe avoid swimming in there for a bit. Winter's coming. I don't know if that's going to kill them off or they're just going to hibernate and then we're just going to have to deal with that in the spring. But this is a real issue that people around the area of Lake Ontario are having to deal with. Demon fish. 7 gills, by the way, in case you couldn't count right there. They have 7 gills. Because 1 isn't enough. They really have to freak people out. All right, can we move on? Because this is too much for me. This is too much. I'm trying to have some tea here. Okay? Moving on. Ooh! It's good. Now we can talk about some food. We got that out of the way. Let's get to the food segment. If you like Swedish furniture and vegetarian cuisine, well, this next story is right up your alley. Now, in order to help animals that are slaughtered for human consumption and reduce the numbers of animals, to reduce the number of animals that are slaughtered for human consumption, IKEA is putting out a veggie dog. They haven't had one before, and there is about 3 million vegetarian Canadians that they want to coerce to buy more of their furniture with this 75-cent dog. Now, you can see that hot dog, it looks kind of weird, right? Let me tell you what's in it. You got kale, lentils, carrots, ginger, quinoa, onion, potatoes, spices, all the cornerstones of a vegetarian dish. And I guess, you know, compared to an actual hot dog, you know what's in this one. So I guess that's a positive. But is it just me or does it look kind of weird? Can we like super zoom in on the dog part? Can we? Oh, we're having some trouble here. It kind of looks like poop a little bit. It looks like something that fell under a couch and someone forgot about, and then they picked it up and put it in between 2 pieces of bread. People are talking about the fact that this looks like a poop a little bit. Now, I'm not going to tell you what to eat and what not to eat. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic that they're catering to vegetarian Canadians because, as I said, they're 10% of the population. They're a minority, but they're a big one. 3 million people. I hope you guys check it out. I'm going to try it out just for the sake of the fact that I hope it doesn't taste bad. Because, I mean, this ingredient list, ginger, quinoa, you could probably eat this all day and it would be the most healthy thing for you. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge a hot dog based on the fact that it looks like doo-doo. That's our show for this evening. Wow, we really flew through that one. I love you. We're going to go back to that first question real quick, and I just want to bring it back again. How do you feel about the fact that Canada wants to bring average speed test cameras to the country? Do you think that's a good thing? Let me know in the comments. We're going to get back to you with another episode tomorrow, aka Thursday. It's going to be a good one, and I hope to see you. Have a great night, Canada. Don't forget, you got to like us on Facebook, you got to share and subscribe on YouTube, and follow on Instagram. And we're just going to have a whole bunch of fun with you, Canada. Take it easy.